Hello, welcome back to Stockton Junction. Today just a quick update on the helix. So as you can see, the first layer is nearly built and ready for some track before I continue the second layer. I've got some weights there, so what I'm doing is I'm gluing one down at a time, putting the weights on, waiting for it to dry before I stick the next one in, and so on. But I'm going to leave it at that point there because I need to do the track underneath first. Using the Gorilla Glue because it dries really quick and it's very strong. It's stronger than standard PVA. And also I'll be using these power-based modules. These are just the extra value packs, as you can see. So in these you get 2 packs like that of these. And what I'll be doing, I've got some old ones here I rescued off the old layout. So I've got a ruler, and what I'm doing is I'm putting a mark here at the halfway point, and I'll do the same on the next one like I've done there and there. These come as extras as part from the DCC, from the helix kit from the people that sell it. So what I've done is I've marked the halfway point on here, marked the halfway point on there so they line up like so. So that gives you your track spacing. Draw my line around, and then I'll continue round all the way like so, and I'll do that all on each section as we go through, because the first thing obviously is we're going to have to stick these down. So we need a line to know where to stick them. So what we would do is we'd be putting them like so, and I'll stick to that line. And if I just go grab a bit of track from over here, I'll use a bit of standard Hornby. It's the outer line we want, so I'm just going to use a piece of standard Hornby track for a minute, for the moment, just to. So when that sits there, as you can see, this is set track, and it lines up with that perfectly on the 4th radius. So by sticking those there, the only bit that is of concern is making sure that this metal plating is in the middle there. So it doesn't matter if it overlaps this side. So if we stick to that line as we build it up, it's going to be ideal. But also when I'm laying the track, I want to be able to see where that line is. So I'm going to make sure all of these power base segments are just on the inside edge of that line so that I can still see it. Because I was going to use set track for this, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. So Flexi is going to be a pain as well, but I might use the Flexi. I'm still in 2 minds. I haven't decided. But I also am going to be gluing the track down on here. And I'll be gluing these down. Now here's a test piece that I did with an old one. So that's to this foam, because I wanted to make sure I'm using cheap Poundland super glue. I buy that by the packet loads. I wanted to make sure that it's stuck and that it wasn't having any issues. I didn't actually glue the whole section, so this bit that's sticking up here is just where I didn't put any glue. It's stuck down very, very well. I did also a big blob test, which was something I do on materials. As you can see, it has burnt through, but it hasn't like really gone mad, and that was using quite a massive big blob that was sat up above it. So I wanted to see what reaction it had to this foam that I'm using. And regarding the foam, it is something that Charlie at Chadwick has sort of like spoke to me about. I asked him a few questions regarding this foam, and he did say to me that it's not great. So I'm not going to use this on the main layout, but I'm certainly going to use it on the helixes, and probably also to cover the whole of the fiddle yard, because there are areas that once they're built they're not really going to get touched unless there's a derailment, etc. So I'm quite happy to use them on those areas. And what you get is, I paid I think 22 quid, something like that for a great big pack of these. I've already used a few sheets. I've also got over there, underneath there is one sheet being stuck down with a big block of wood with some weight on it to make sure it sticks. And this is how I'm doing the sections. So obviously the straight section has been taken out, that is there already. So I stick all these down. That is how I do it. There's my pot there with my PVA glue and brush, and that's just standard PVA, just this stuff from Screwfix, I believe. Nice, cheap, cheerful. It's for the layout underneath. I'm not bothered about it being glossy and stuff like that, so I use the cheap rubbish ones for that. So what I do is I stick them all down. As you can see, I put 2 boards on top because obviously the boards up there aren't wide enough, so I put 2 on across the top and weight them down, leave them for about an hour, come back and they're ready to cut out. As you need to be aware, when you cut this stuff out, this is what he was talking about, it damages, it doesn't cut always perfectly. And also, like on here, the slightest little thing will dink it. You've got little dents there. I've got several, got another chip out there. But again, once the track's laid, which is going to be fine. So I was originally going to try and taper this edge with a knife. I did attempt it on one piece, it didn't come out very well. It just tore at the edging there, so, and it didn't give it a good finish. But again, look, see, very easily to damage these. So when you cut them out, as I've done here, I'm just stacking them all in one nice little stack, and I'm going to try and keep them out the way until I need each one at a time, so I don't damage them. And that's pretty much it for now. So I need to start getting some track on this section soon. I want to get, I'm going to start from down there at that bottom edge, because I need to get this section in place before I can put this next one across the top. But once the 2 tracks are done going around there, I can start putting the next sections in. And what I was going to just say to you about is setting it up, because you don't get instructions with it. There might be some online, but I didn't get any. Now, on the video with Charlie's one, they started theirs at ground level, the first piece. I can't do that because the way I've built my board, as you can see, I've got these 2 extra bits, but that's actually quite handy for there. So mine is going to, I have another straight piece and a corner piece there to get around that corner. So what I don't want is it ground level here, because then it's got to be dead flat there. I want to continue just going slightly downhill, ever so slightly, because obviously that's a tiny bit lower than this. Not much, but enough. So I've built that with where they would start, where he started on the second one, with 1 nut underneath. Now that is dead on 9mm there. So we have 8 sections, and it's meant to be an 80mm rise. So it makes it pretty simple for the math. So that starts at 9. I made this one 19, 29, 39, 49, 59, 69 and 79. And then we're back to here. So we're not going to measure from the ground from here. I'm going to measure from there to there, 80mm, 80mm, and so on, 80mm on each one going up. That will keep my gradient almost exact all the way. And obviously once I get to testing, as long as there's no issues, then it should be fine. And obviously this being the up line will have the power base, the down line won't need it because it's got gravity to help it down. And on the other side, where the other one's going to be over there later on, it will be exactly the same. So the up line going up to the top level will be the outer line again. So because this level here will be a slightly different gradient to this level here, because it's a shorter thing. So I mean, I don't know the technical words and terms, etc. All I know is that the gradient this side is going to be steeper than the gradient this side. So you always want your upline on the outside. So anyone building a helix, then do not put the upline going up this side. Number one tip. Anyway, I shall get on with some of this. I want to get this little bit done, and I will come back to you in a few days, maybe once I've got a bit more progress. So I've got a lot more work to do, and it's going to take a while. As I'm not rushing, I'm taking my time. And just remember, when you're measuring things, measure twice, never measure once. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button. If you haven't, please subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.